I'm Leigh with the City of Missoula, and we're back with Zero Waste Action Month. Today we are talking about repair, because repair is a major pillar of zero waste. And we are here with Nick from ReSource, and we're talking about lamps today. When we repair materials instead of just throwing them away, we save all of the resources that went into making those things. And we're all really lucky to live in Missoula because Missoula has so many great opportunities for repair. We have fix-it clinics, we have bike repair clinics, we have sewing circles, and all kinds of things that help us to be a zero waste community. So we're going to learn today specifically about lamp repair from Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick Wellington. I'm the temporary programs director here at ReSource. We're a nonprofit community sustainability center where we take reusable donated materials for buildings and do things like fix lamps or help people fix up their houses. And we actually run a series of fix-it clinics here at ReSource every month. We have people come in. We just had one this last Saturday where people brought in, actually we fixed 4 lamps at this last fix-it clinic. But we also repair everything from lawnmowers to we repaired somebody's truck topper and their pond skimmer this last Saturday. And I agree that repair is a huge part of being environmentally sustainable. And today we're going to talk about doing lamps because they're a really common thing. At one of our fix-it clinics, I think we fixed 12 different lamps for folks. They're a very common household item that has a lot of things that can be very easily repaired. And do you have any lamps at your house that are broken, I guess is a question I have for you.
I do have lamps at my house that are broken.
What things have broken on the lamps in your house?
Besides the light bulbs.
Yes. That's great. So the first thing I would take a look at is it the light bulb? It's kind of like the IT is it turned on or off? So make sure it's turned on, and make sure that the light bulb is not. I would test it with either a new light bulb or a known working light bulb. You can always take a light bulb from another lamp in your house, plug it in, make sure that things are working in that regard.
Yeah. And I think another thing is I have a lamp that sometimes turns on and sometimes doesn't, and I have no idea if it's the switch or the cord or what's going on with the lamp itself.
That could be a number of different things. There's a lot of different switches, and there's actually different bulbs too. Some of the switches, if it's not turning on or off, actually this one is a good example. This one is a 3-way switch, and so it has a couple of different spots in it, and it's meant for a 3-way bulb. So sometimes you can check that across making sure that you have a 3-way bulb that's attached to a 3-way switch. And if not, like on this one, for example, I'm just gonna plug it in here. And then this one is missing the knob. I actually 3D printed a replacement knob for this one. Mostly because I'm really annoyed by those tiny little knobs that you can barely fit your fingers around. So this one is a giant one. Let's see if I can thread it on there. There we go. So we hear it clicking. We know that it goes through all the positions. I would also look at the cord. Sometimes the cords get all mangled or really old. If you need a replacement cord, boy howdy, do we have a bunch of these electrical cords at ReSource that you can use to replace the cord in your lamp in a huge variety of different colors. And let's plug this one in. Great, so we're on. Woo! But notice how I click it, nothing. Click it, it's on. Click it, it stays the same. Click it, it's off. So this one tells me that this switch in here is actually a 3-way switch, but this isn't a 3-way bulb, so that's something that you can test against. 3-way bulbs are less and less common, and most of them are actually those really energy wasteful incandescent ones. So I'd recommend maybe swapping out the switch for something that's more modern, like this one. These ones you just push through. That's not meant for 3-way bulbs. What other questions do you have about fixing lamps?
Well, you mentioned the cord. How hard is it to replace the cord? Because I have plenty of cords at home where they're frayed on the rubber part, and you can see the parts, and that feels scary.
It is scary, yep. So I think it's relatively easy to replace the cord. What I would do for that is, if you're unsure, make sure you ask an electrician. I'm not a certified electrician. This is all for educational purposes. But I will say that replacing cords is pretty straightforward. On the cords, we have the 2 prongs. One of them is a little bit wider, one of them is a little bit skinnier. Can you see that on that one?
I can.
And the wider one is actually the safety one that goes into your wall in the neutral. I will have it. Oh, here we go. I have this outlet right here.
Hey.
And on your outlet, you have a wider slot and a narrower slot. And so it only plugs in one way. You can't plug it in the opposite way. And this is not attached to anything, so I can safely plug this into here. And take a really close look at the cord there. What do you notice about one of these wires that's coming out of it? See how it has these little ridges on it?
Oh yeah, one is smooth and one has stripes in it.
Yeah, so the one with stripes in it is the neutral, and the one that is smooth is hot.
Oh.
So if you remember anything about repairing a lamp, or electricity in general, it's black to brass. So hot or black goes to the brass, and then neutral or white is going to go to the nickel. And on this lamp fixture, I have our brass and our silver one there. I'm just going to unscrew these a little bit, give myself a little bit of clearance. And then first thing I would do is make sure that this plug is not plugged in. We're good. And then I can take a wire stripper or just some diagonal cutters and take a little bit of the insulation off here. I'm going to take a little bit more. There we go. And then I do a little bit of a twist, like so. And then keeping in mind, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the ridges on that one let me know that that one's neutral. And if the cord is black, sometimes they'll have like white dashes on the neutral as well. So I'm gonna take, on this one, I have the brass side up, so I'm just gonna take this and bend it around the screw. And I like to hook it in such a way so that when you tighten the screw down, it closes the loop a little bit. If I wrap this around the other way, when I tighten it, what will happen is it'll try to push the wires away rather than tighten them down. So we got that one there, and then our neutral is going to go on the silver. Get the wires in there, and then tighten down the nut. Make sure that's secure. And then now I would be able to plug this in, making sure that if I had the switch cover, that it had the cardboard stuff both surrounding this and then also in the bottom of these guys. So there's a tiny little cardboard insert. Making sure that those things are still both present in your switch is helpful so that things don't get shorted out or you don't get electrocuted. And here I would be ready to, once this were all attached in together, it would be just like this one. So there's the top piece that all it does is squishes into the bottom piece, and then you can take a pair of pliers and kind of squish that a little bit. Make sure it's all nice and secure. Hot is kind of where the electricity comes out, and neutral is where it goes back in.
Gotcha.
And the reason that they are actually wired that way, or that we have polarized plugs, is because in the back of it, that's where hot is, and this ring is neutral. And if you have your light turned on, and you accidentally, like you're trying to like screw in this bulb and you make contact with the edge of the bulb, if it's wired properly, you won't get electrocuted. You're much less likely to get electrocuted because the electricity is coming out of the back there. And if we look at the light bulb, it's really instructive to see how light bulbs kind of thread in. So that end there, I'll show that to the camera, that's where hot comes through, and then this is neutral. And when you're completing the circuit between the two with this switch, it's really just allowing electricity to flow into the light bulb, into neutral, and then back into the wall.
All right, so I saw you just, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you just clicked it once,
Mm-hmm.
which maybe turned the lamp on. Is it dangerous to put the bulb on while you're...
I would definitely, whenever I'm like working on stuff with lamps, I would leave it unplugged, do all your maintenance, plug it in, and then twist things. That's definitely a safety tip there.
Wow,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about lamps.
Yeah. We have a bunch of different switches here. All these things came from Home Resource, including the tools. You don't need many tools to repair a lamp. I would definitely have a screwdriver, typically a flat blade. Phillips is sometimes nice. A crescent wrench like this. Some wire strippers are helpful if you're replacing the cord. and then a pair of pliers of whatever variety you might have. You know, with these pull chain ones, you can get the replacement chain at the hardware store. We also have them here at Home Resource. The like plugs that go into a bathtub, that little chain for those that we have a ton of here, is actually something that I will pull from when we're replacing them at Fix-It Clinics. And then, as I mentioned before, we have all these electrical cords in spades that you can use to kind of fish back up into there and wire back together.
What are some other things that people bring to the Fix-It Clinic? Somebody had, for example, a broken vacuum. Could they bring that
We
in?
fix vacuums all the time. One thing about the Fix-It Clinics is that it's not just the Fix-It coaches doing the repair, they're teaching it too. So if you came in with your lamp, I would be, like we're doing here, showing you through all the entire process and how things work, and encouraging folks to learn how to use tools and do repair.
Awesome.
Yeah. Follow us on social media to know when the next Fix-It Clinic is going to be.
Well, thanks for joining us for our installment of Zero Waste Action Month and learning about repair. So hopefully you'll take advantage of it in your own life.